Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to another edition of the Ontario Reign Report. Joey and Lindsay here with you as the Reign gets set for a 5-game road trip. The first 3 games coming up this weekend against Texas and San Antonio. But Lindsay, it was already a great start to the season for Ontario. 2-0, 1-0 record. They had opening weekend this past weekend against the Stars, who we'll see this weekend, as well as the San Jose Barracuda. But let's go ahead and dive into all the action. Friday night, first meeting of the season against the Texas Stars. A high-flying offense against typically a grind-out defense for Ontario, but that wasn't the case. 6-5 overtime decision. I know you had a chance to catch up with some of the players and coaching staff. That's not the way the Reign want to play hockey, but they're still able to get the points. Yeah,
it's definitely not the way they want to play. A little bit of a run-and-gun situation. Kind of got into penalty trouble in the second period after taking a 4-1 lead in the first. Had to kind of battle back Johnny Brodzinski with that overtime winner, so it was a good way to kind of start the season at home, I suppose, but they want to stay away from that run and gun.
And one of the big keys for the Reign in that contest was just how well their power play and their special teams overall would perform in that contest. They would grab multiple power play goals, TJ Hensick helping lead that way. But they would also cash in shorthanded, the veteran Vincent Laverty, the team captain, also helping out. So, I mean, this power play off to a running start here to begin the season.
Yeah, the power play has really been the story so far, and I think the addition of TJ Hensick has been huge. A veteran entering his 10th season of pro hockey here. All of his points, all 3 have come on the power play, and him and Vincent Laverty have some good chemistry. I think just that veteran presence, TJ's been able to kind of put his stick in the right place at the right time for some power play goals, and I just think he's been able to replace that what Chris Newberry brought, and he's doing a great job.
And even head coach Mike Stothers, after that contest, kind of mentioned that Hensick was a guy that he was singling out to a lot of the other players in the organization, saying, hey, this is a guy new to the organization, not too familiar with what we have to offer, but he's buying in, he's putting in the extra work, and it's good to see that from one of your veteran players.
Yeah, absolutely, and the power play is running at 7 for 16, really high for the Reign, especially for the struggles that they had last season with the power play. So the addition of TJ Hensick just kind of helps settle things down, and I think Vincent Laverty, like you mentioned, he's a guy on the back end that really has a lot of offensive upside, and he doesn't get enough credit for that.
The Reign operating at 43.8%, 7 for 16, as Lindsay mentioned. If you look back to last season, took 9 games for the Reign to hit 7 power play goals. Well, here they're able to accomplish it in just 3. Well, that high scoring would roll into Saturday's contest against San Jose. A couple bodies out of the lineup, a bit of surprise with Adrian Kempe and Justin Auger, but it was an opportunity for a gentleman like Patrick Bjorkstrand to jump in, and he would score 2 goals in the contest.
Right, and Bjorkstrand was able to make his debut just by the virtue of Adrian Kempe and Justin Auger being sick. It sounded like, too, Justin Auger had a little bit of a lower body ailment, but Bjorkstrand jumping right in had 2-goal performance, and unfortunately for the Reign, they weren't able to kind of come out with the win there, but I thought that he was pretty impressive and that he should get a chance going forward.
And now the Reign 2-0, 1-0 to start the season, getting ready for this road trip coming up. Season-high 5-game road trip for Ontario, starting in Texas and Tucson. But now, Lindsay, it seems like all the headlines are surrounding the Reign off the ice in terms of their goaltending scenarios, who's in the lineup, who's out of the lineup. Let's go back to that Saturday night contest against San Jose. I mean, Justin Auger, you mentioned earlier, he didn't miss a single game last year, so it's the first time he's been out for quite some time. Adrian Kempe, kind of the same scenario. What did you find out about them rolling into this week of practice?
Well, they're back on the ice, so that's good news for Ontario. I mean, it was pretty disappointing that they weren't able to go, I think, in Saturday's game, just because they're such key players for this team. And in a unique situation with Jonah Emu making his professional debut, they could have used guys like that. But it seems like all is better. That stomach flu's kind of gone away, and these guys should be ready to go for this road trip.
And at the beginning of the season, the defense also in question. In the beginning contest against San Diego, you saw Paul Bissonnette step back. You get Zach Leslie back in the lineup over the weekend. And now it seems like defenseman Paul Ledoux looking to make his return as well.
Yeah, and everybody's been waiting for Paul Ledoux to play. Just a lower body injury in practice. He had a very impressive training camp with the Kings. Everybody's been waiting for him. He really only got into 3 games after joining the Reign in the playoffs last year after winning an NCAA title with North Dakota. So a lot of eyes on him, and people were pretty excited to see this defenseman play.
And you mentioned that Jonah Emu making his AHL debut this past weekend in that contest against San Jose, and that's really been another big storyline for this Ontario and for the LA Kings organization in terms of their goaltending. What's going to happen moving forward is Jonathan Quick and Jeff Zakoff out of the lineup. In fact, we would learn before Saturday's contest against San Jose that Zakoff will be injured in that morning skate prior to their game against Vancouver. So now Jonah Emu and the Reign bringing in the old ECHL Ontario Reign member in Troy Redmond, but early reports even this morning is that Anders Lindback, an NHL experienced netminder, looking to make a splash here with the Kings organization.
Sure. Well, Anders Lindback brings an affordable option for this team just because of the cap situation with the LA Kings. But I mean, I think it's sort of a necessary move because they're really just one injury away from things being even worse than they were. I mean, Dusty Emu, the Reign goalie coach, having to kind of step in and back up his son on Saturday. Definitely a nice story, but not something that's ideal for any team.
And now moving forward for Ontario, they're going to look to square off against the Texas Stars and the San Antonio Rampage, a rare 3-game and 3-day weekend for them, the first of only 2 this entire season. And we caught up with head coach Mike Sellers yesterday, and he says he's not used to the 6-5 games. He doesn't want to see the 4-5 overtimes. He wants 2-0. He wants 2-1. For the Reign, what needs to be adjusted from what you saw in those first 2 contests against high-flying offenses?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought their neutral zone play was really good in the first game of the first period of the first game. Then you start to get into penalty trouble, and then you start to lose that neutral zone presence that the Reign are known for, not being able to establish their forecheck. So those are the things that they're really going to want to step up, especially against a Texas team really known to play very well on the power play. The Reign are just going to kind of have to tighten things up a bit, and I think the addition, if Paul Ledoux is back in, that's going to really help them.
So defensively, the Reign looking to make those adjustments against a high-flying team at HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. That'll be on Friday and Saturday night. And then the Reign square off against San Antonio for the first of 6 meetings. That'll be on Sunday afternoon. And not to look too far ahead, Lindsay, but San Antonio, a team that the Reign kind of had their number a little bit, 4-0-2-0 last season. And the Reign also had the number for the Texas Stars, but San Antonio a little down on their luck to start their season. But the Reign can't take them lightly. They did so in their building early last year, cost them a couple overtimes. So what are you seeing out of this San Antonio squad that we don't quite know about just yet?
Well, they're an 0-4 team, a little bit of struggling start for them again. Mikko Ratinen, one of their top players, has already been recalled, so that's a big loss for them. But I think for Ontario, too, it's going to be, back-to-back nights, Friday, Saturday, and then it's a quick turnaround for that 1 p.m. start. So it's just going to be a matter of keeping things very simple and going on from there.
Well, for the Reign, they have all week to prepare for these contests, whereas Texas and San Antonio, they're actually going to play each other on Tuesday night, and then San Antonio is going to travel to Cleveland in the midst of all the World Series and NBA opening night buzz. They're going to square off against the Cleveland Monsters on Thursday and Friday, so hopefully the Reign will catch a team a little jet lag coming back down to San Antonio. But, Lindsay, it's great to have you once again on the Reign Report. Look forward to another episode next week.
Great. Thanks for having me, Joey.
Reign fans, you can catch all the action of this week's contest against Texas and San Antonio right here on Reign Radio and OntarioReign.com.